All right, here we go. I hate the title of this already. 6 proofs. Gotta love a misapplication of mathematical terms. 6 proofs for God's existence.
Well, maybe it's literally 6 mathematical equations that prove God.
I await with bated breath. But I've seen this guy before, and I'm not hopeful.
Socrates once stated that we should follow the argument wherever it leads. When we look at the most profound question of life, does God exist? We should certainly follow...
Okay, pause.
You can pause it too, by the way. You don't have to call out pause.
I forget. Okay. Is that really the most profound question? I mean, is it really, though?
Okay.
Nope.
No.
Move on.
Hang on. No. If one is going to be charitable to one's opponent, although I don't really see this as like a war, but if I'm going to be charitable, then maybe. Because if their claim is true, and we can verify that it's true, probably one of the more important things.
Well, I think Monty Python said it best when they said in their song, why are we here? What's life all about? I mean, those two I find far more compelling than you start with the assumption God exists.
Oh no.
Then we need to make that the most important question.
Yeah, they're confirming the consequent, or at least that's what I'm betting he's about to do. But, and see, like what he means by that 3-letter word there, he means does my version exist, not just like a version exists.
Oh yeah.
So
not yours.
No.
Mine.
So, being charitable, I'd say it's probably one of the more important questions because it does kind of attempt, and I'm being very charitable by using the word attempt to address the question about the foundation of reality, which is what most people, at least so far that I've interacted with, seem to think is what their God is. It's like, this is the foundation for everything, and everything else is built on top of it. So, like, at least from their point of view, it is the most important.
Right, and they're starting with the assumption that he already exists, and therefore, if there's a reality...
Yeah, they're presuming the consequent. And so, anyway, go ahead.
Continuing on, yes.
When we do, we'll find evidences that show us God is real. Let's look at 6 proofs.
Nope. Gonna stop right there. This is my internal pedant peeking his little head out and going, We've already switched from evidences to proof. Now, maybe in this gentleman's mind, those things are synonymous or even exactly the same.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, but they're not.
I was raised, that's the same word.
Yeah.
Evidence and proof is the same word.
Well, I don't know if I was...
never used mathematically because I don't know anyone growing up who knew what math was.
I feel slightly betrayed, although...
No,
I guess...
before I met you, there was life. Okay, I existed before God. Okay.
Can you demonstrate that to be true? I mean, I wasn't there, so it didn't happen.
Yes, I know people who will claim that I existed before I met you. So.
Well, no, I'm just taking the piss now. I'm taking the piss now. So yeah, that's just my internal pedant coming out. I'm going to assume that he believes that both of those things are the same. I have different and distinct usages for those words, as I assume you do as well. But
I do now, but back when I was religious.
Sure.
No,
Sure. Okay, cool.
That's great.
That show God exists. Number one, the universe must have a cause.
Nope.
The most fundamental law of science is the
Ow.
law of cause and effect.
Ow. I'm going to, hang on, I'm going to rewind that just a little bit, and I want to pause it so it's not fuzzy.
Number one, the universe must have a cause. The most fundamental law of science is the law of...
It's not a law. It's not a law at all.
I'll drink to that.
It's a principle, not a law.
See, that makes me want to look up exactly how science defines cause and effect.
It's the principle of cause and effect, not a law, not a scientific
but
law at all, ever.
I don't think you understand. It says it on the screen.
Oh, well, see, I've got your face covering up where it says law, so for me it just says the of cause and effect. So
You need to move me so that
No.
you can be enlightened.
I actually looked this up recently because I had a conversation with somebody that made this claim. They also then would refuse to admit that they were wrong. But, and again, this might be my internal pedant, but it's not a law. It is a principle. And I think he goes on to correctly describe it, except for the fact that he's called it a law, which it is not. And even if it were, laws are descriptive, not prescriptive or proscriptive. Prescriptive. So, anyway.
Right, and laws are typically equations. Laws are used to support theories in science.
Yeah.
So you have the law of gravity. That's an equation. Not the law of gravity is things fall. That would be the theory of why things fall.
I like that. Things fall. Well, you know we're going to get flurfers in here now, right? It's buoyancy.
Oh my God.
Fight me.
No, please, no. Before you start my internal bleeding. That's definitely a conversation we can have.
Not right now. No. I'm gonna be drooling by the end of this anyway. So yeah, so
it looks like he's drooling now.
So that was my internal pedant. But the other thing he said is the major flaw, in my opinion, in the cosmological, is that the first premise is a presupposition and has not and cannot, as of today, be demonstrated to be true. So,
repeat that for any confused people. Who
hang on, let me see if I can go back.
Exactly every single line of that.
Let's go back and listen. Yeah, let's see here.
That show God exists. Number one, the universe must have a cause.
Anytime you have an argument that uses the phrase must have, no, you're wrong. Show your work. You declaring it must have a cause does not mean it must have a cause. That's just you pulling shit directly out of your anus.
Yeah.
So, but I think what he's referring to is everything that
comes to exist,
or everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist. That's the problem. We actually don't know that everything that begins to exist has a cause, because we don't know of everything that has ever begun to exist. It's a presupposition. It sounds logical and it sounds reasonable, but one of my favorite quotes from Neil deGrasse Tyson is that the universe or reality is under no obligations to make sense. So,
and another thing is, this could be true.
Could be.
He's making the case that cause is
must have.
Jesus, my God. So it, like Matt
I'm sure
Dillon
we'll
said,
get there.
it could be the universe making fairies or pigeons.
Yeah.
It could be the great owl spirit for all we know.
It could be Roland the invisible closet goblin.
Yeah, I met him. He sounds like the kind of guy who would make a universe.
I know, right? He's a really nice. Anyway, okay, let's.
The most fundamental law of science is
No, it's
the law
not.
of cause and effect. And it says that for every material effect we see,
It's a principle,
there
not a
is
law.
Cause that came before it or was simultaneous to it, and that is greater than it.
See that word greater? It's not in the principle. He added that. Pretty confident. I'm like 98% sure.
The universe is a material effect. So what caused the universe? You see, if you don't believe in a creator, then you have to suggest something like a singularity.
Please, you
don't
first.
have to suggest anything.
Oh, thank you.
You could just say, I don't know.
You
That
could also
is, man.
you all say, I don't believe you. Yeah, I find that to be, pretty much what I say to most people that spout. I'm gonna stop there.
Could be it could it could be I don't know. B, it could be anything else.
Yeah.
Well, I had this conversation with someone, and they said that at that point, matter, energy, and time were created. And I said, well, what if? And I explained it in this way. I said, well, water exists in 3 different states. You got water vapor, a gas. You got liquid water, and you got
gas, liquid, solid.
Water. So would you say that before liquid water, there was no water? Well, no, it's just a different state, ice. And so my response was, well, what if time, energy, and matter simply existed in a different state before those 3 states?
Yeah,
they could still have existed, but just in a different state.
I read a couple of papers that dealt with the possible phase state change of the laws of nature.
All right.
Such that water transitions from one state to another. It might be that the rules that govern reality went through a similar phase change.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. But he was operating under the assumption that nothing, in his use of the word nothing, existed.
Ex nihilo.
And everything existed. I was like, well, no, everything could have existed just in a different state, just like, water, just like we have solids, liquids, and gases, and plasmas, and we have different states. And he didn't have much of a response for that. He said, well, yes, it could have, but obviously didn't. So shut up with your stupid idea.
Yeah. Oh, and I bet you I know where he's going with singularity. And if I had money to bet, I would be willing to bet all of it that he's going to argue that a singularity is somehow related to ex nihilo, nothing. I haven't watched this video yet.
Or is the singularity God?
No, see here he's about to talk about a singularity. Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. He's about to talk about a singularity, and I'm willing to bet money that he is going to end up saying that a singularity comes from nothing, as in ex nihilo. Not like a physicist nothing, where it's just a balance of zero energy, both positive and negative, and it just balances out to nothing. I'm willing to bet that he's going to present a singularity as a source from nothing, ex nihilo.
Well, let's find out.
All right. Hit it when you're ready.
All right.